Alright guys, how's it going? So yesterday, Trent Alexander-Arnold very unhappy about being substituted, and rightly so. Good, I want you to be unhappy when you're substituted. People have been asking me my thoughts on it, so here we go. First of all, he's the vice captain, correct? So I expect a little bit better from him because at the end of the day, you can put it down to like, oh, it's just one of those things, it's finished, it's forgotten, but it creates speculation. It's going to create speculation, it's going to fuel speculation, get people talking, shit stirring and all that, right? And that's the last thing that Arne Slot needs right now. It's the last thing he needs right now. Now, I don't know how many clips you've seen of Trent Alexander-Arnold showing displeasure, be that when he was taken off, be that when he sat in the dugout, be that post-match. There are multiple clips I've seen post-match of him. So our opinions may vary on what we've individually seen. And from having a look at maybe half a dozen clips before I made this video, just before I made this video, he looks fucking really pissed off, right? Not just when he's taken off. You know, you've got teammates coming up to him after the game and he's like, fucking leave me alone, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, was it such a big fucking deal? Do you know what I mean? Being substituted, what, quarter of an hour to go, something like that? I don't know, I was fucking nodding off. Do you know what I mean? Not because, no, the game was all right, I was just tired yesterday. You know, so I'm getting older, remember, I'm 50 on the 13th of September. So if I make it. So I'm getting a little bit older, you know what I'm saying? And I just had a Sunday dinner, I was like, oh, fucking great game, this, love it. Anyway, so, I don't know, like, you know, if you read too much into it, or pass an opinion that, you know, his mind's elsewhere or he's fuming, do you know what I mean? Like people say, you're only coming to that conclusion from a bit, do you know what I mean? So you can't fucking win whatever you say. You know, if you say it's all right, people will say, well, you're wrong. If you say it's wrong, people will say, do you know what I mean? It just goes on and on and on and on. It's one of those subjects where everyone will have a different opinion about it. Now, what I will say is, yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold is extremely unhappy, and I'll tell you why he's unhappy. He's unhappy because Real Madrid have not made any attempt to sign him. That's what I think, seriously. I'm not saying that's why he was walking around with a strap on, but I think he's in a situation where he's like, right, you know, I'm running out, my contract's running down. I personally think that Real Madrid have not come knocking for him, and he might be a little bit disappointed with that. But I think he's in a situation where he's like, do you know what, I'm like, fuck this, man. What would you be like? What would you be like? You'd be like, nah, fuck this, I'm off, fuck you, you're sacking me off. Do you know what I mean? So I think that, you know, the media, the journalists, the hacks, especially the LFC clique, you know, that particular low-level clique of journalists, they want you to think that Real Madrid are desperate to sign Trent Alexander-Arnold. I live in Spain and I certainly haven't seen that. However, I think their interest would improve somewhat if he was out of contract, all right? So I can't help but think that, you know, I can't but help think that he has got his eye on Real Madrid and going and playing with his best friend and all that, right? And I can understand that. But then there'll be people that say, no, he's a local boy, he only ever wants to play for Liverpool. He's committed to Liverpool. If he's committed to Liverpool, he shouldn't be sulking like a big baby when you're coming off, especially as vice captain, because of what that creates, especially during a contract impasse, if you like. You know, I've been speaking a lot about Joe Gomez recently. I did record a video about Joe Gomez for you yesterday, and then I had to check with the person that's been communicating with me from the Gomez campus to whether or not I could publish, and I was told straight no. So I couldn't put that video out to you yesterday, guys. I do apologise for that, because it's very private. But I've been talking about Joe Gomez a lot, right? Joe Gomez has been taken off, right? Nah, he's going to come off there, and he's like, I've done my job, you know, I've done whatever's been asked of me. So it's a difficult one when it comes to, you know, players showing displeasure. We had it with Mo Salah, I remember, with Jurgen. I can't help there's part of me that's like, I understand it, you know, he's disappointed, whoever the player is, but it's not a good fucking look. And it's not a good look if you're vice captain. That's, you know what I'm saying. It undermines the manager. The manager has to address, you know, questions. And then it creates speculation. And if you're in a situation where people are discussing whether you might leave on a free contract, on a free transfer, sorry, it's really not helping things. And the best thing he could have done is to, you know, if he's real, you know, he's upset, he's pissed off, he's gone off, he's sat down, he's shown his disappointment, and then at full time you would expect him to be like all smiles and like, oh shit, yeah, I better make this right. But that didn't happen. And that's the bit that concerns me. So it's one thing coming off showing displeasure and sitting there with a strop on, right, and your bottom lip down here, but continuing it afterwards. And I seen one of the clips where he walks off after the game and he goes like that, like to someone up in the stands like that, like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't like that one. Oh, fucking shit, my door's just shut. I didn't like that one. Do you know what I mean? I didn't like the whole situation. So I have mixed views. I understand when a player is substituted when they're pissed off. It's not good. I would always say you're undermining the manager, and I will always back the manager in that. I don't give a fuck who you are, whether you're Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mo Salah, whoever the fuck you are. You do as you're told by that manager, right? And so there's part of me that's like, yeah, well, that's just giving you a little fucking reminder there that who's calling the shots around these parts. Do you know, around these parts, these places, whatever you want to fucking, I don't know what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? So, like, for me, Arne Slot already, I'm thinking, yeah, fucking nice one, man. You know, he's not afraid to make a substitution, is he? Yeah? I know Arne Slot comes across as a very, like, chilled, very, you know, head nodding, whatever, right? But, you know, people that know him reckon he can be a bit of an arrogant motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, don't fucking, you know what I'm saying? No, we're a good look. Anyway, I'll leave it with you. But listen. No, see, I have to, sometimes I have to read it in myself because there's a part of me that wants to go, do you know what, Trent, if you don't like it, go for it. But I don't want to be like that. I understand it, but the problem for me is the post-match continuation of the displeasure. That's the bit I have a problem with, all right? But I'm sure you don't give a fuck what I think. And at the end of the day, if he chooses to leave the club, good riddance. I don't care. If anyone wants to leave Liverpool, thank you for your service. Just, you know, conduct yourself in a mature and professional way with the club, let them prepare and whatever. But we can't criticise him for that because we're not privy to everything that's going on. But all of these players are all saying like, well, now it's happening. You know, like, we shouldn't even, this is the problem. We shouldn't even be discussing players with the contracts run down this soon. And there's people saying to me, you know, in the comments and stuff like that, they're getting the money in for next summer because they're going to lose these players or whatever. I don't know. I always thought Trent would sign. I don't know what you think. But this suggestion, I keep seeing lazy journalism, right? Melissa Reddy, for example, I seen her the other week, right, saying some article about Trent Alexander-Arnold and his contracts and Real Madrid being big admirers. There is nothing to suggest anywhere that Real Madrid are big admirers and will be willing to shell out for him with a transfer fee. I'm sure there'll be big admirers if he's available on a free next year. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure if they signed him, they'd have been his biggest admirer for years. You know what I mean? But just don't fall for this shite that Real Madrid are like desperately trying to sign him, because I don't believe that's the case. On a free, maybe. All right, I'll leave it with you. I know the video's all over the place. I don't like players that sulk. It makes it difficult for the manager. It creates speculation. But the club have also got to take a look at themselves with this situation. Is some of that frustration rubbing off on the pitch? At the end of the day, that lad's contract needs sorting out one way or the other, right? We shouldn't be piss-balling around like this. You know, the fans want to know what's going on. I'm sure the player, even if his head's all over, he might that might be the one thing yesterday. It's like, do you know what? Fuck it, I'm off. You don't want me. You're not trying. You know, Firmino wrote about it, didn't he? They didn't fucking want me. The manager wanted me, Klopp wanted me, but they left us hanging for weeks and weeks and weeks. Virgil van Dijk dropping hints also all over the place and then saying, well, they haven't offered me anything. It's a fucking joke, all right? So I wonder he's stropping. I don't know. I'm torn between defending him and sticking knifing him in a mental way. You know, I don't mean like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'll leave it with you. Shit video, I know, but if you appreciate it, thumbs up the video. If you've got a comment, please drop me one. If you want to buy me a beer or coffee, hit the super thanks button, and I'll speak to you soon. 2 o'clock live today and 7 this evening. Hooray.